For this case study, we're going to build a target around business growth. We will call it performance visibility. We keep the statements simple. We're going to go increase brand visibility across the market. Take this to our target frame. For our first lens, we will use increase market awareness and visibility of the organization's brand. That's an ongoing state. The type of change is a result. For our control, and use influence brand exposure through marketing activity, social content, and digital campaigns. Indirect influence. For our mechanism, we'll say increase social media activity. Let's also use publish additional content. Let's add some more. Let's put expand campaign visibility across digital channels. So we've got a few different mechanisms in there, but say that's specific. For our evidence, we'll use, again, we'll reference a few here. So social media impressions, content engagement, likes, shares, and website traffic reporting. Fairly common metrics there for visibility. We'll say these are early signals. Again, there's a little bit of a mix there, but we use it as early signaling to show whether we're on track. Our expectation is to increase market visibility and brand recognition within 12 months. That's going to be a result change. Okay, we're ready to take this upstream. See what the structure looks like. Okay, so it's returned structural state of unsupported. We've got two structural tensions identified. We have control to expectation and control to mechanism. Preceding implies dependencies on external factors and the need for collaboration beyond the stated control. We've got one declared observation. It's around mechanism, declared as specific, while the mechanism wording remains general or improvement orientated. Okay, so that we kind of recognize that was a little bit of an edge case, kind of both our evidence and mechanisms named several, and so you can always find that there sometimes it does sit in the middle between some being specific, some being more general. So that's fine. We'll run the alignment and just check that our wording matches our declarations. So again, we've got a recommendation around the mechanism, changing it to general intention. That's fine. I think both fit, but kind of we'll take the alignment. We want to be as truthful and honest as we can when we're reflecting on this before taking it further. So we've realigned that. It's not changed the outcome per se. It's just tightened what we've got in the structure. So we've got two structural tensions still around control expectation and mechanism to expectation. So now we'll take this forward to a resolution stage and see what our approaches we can look at to tighten this further. this one, it's interesting. The structure contains a nice amount of operational activity, but most of that activity is focused on visibility and reporting rather than demonstrating movement in operational performance itself. So this is a case where organizational movement is almost being mistaken for organizational change. So if we look at our options, we've got the two cards as normal. We've got on the left-hand side a reduction in expectations. So now it's moving it to the activity and saying carrying out social media activity itself is the expectation rather than the increase in visibility that we predicted. Or on the right, the ambition remains intact for the expectation, but we tighten the evidence and mechanisms. So we can see here we're adding conduct weekly content planning sessions to identify and create targeted social media posts, document engagement metrics bi-weekly, and facilitate monthly reviews of campaign performance across digital channels. And our evidence are records of content planning sessions, documented engagement metrics, and completed campaign performance reviews. So we've tightened those down. They've become a little bit more sophisticated. So let's run with this approach. We want to keep the ambition intact for this case. And let's see what this does to the structure. Again, remember this will run the alignment as well. So what we've got returned is we've got a structural state still of unsupported. We've got two structural tensions identified. We've got the same tensions identified. And this is a really interesting result here. We've got a declared observation of evidence being declared as activity-based with the wording now result, state, or performance change based. Again, we know that the alignment's been run following the resolution. So actually, this is more of an advisory, something to be aware of, as opposed to action requiring taking. So when we look at this target in itself, what's interesting here is that the structure has become more operational sophisticated, but the tensions remain. So really, it's almost like, but we're doing loads. We've changed a lot of this. We're doing loads here, but the system is quietly replying with, yes, but what is actually demonstrating the outcome? Now, that's a powerful insight and something that a lot of organizations will take forward without realizing. So the organization is now conducting more reviews, more planning, more tracking, and more reporting. But structurally, that still doesn't demonstrate movement in the market recognition itself. So this is a case where operational sophistication is still resting primarily on internal activity.